how do you improve your onboarding experience when you join a new job? And also, how do you become entrenched in a company and getting to effectively work with your new team in a new environment, new culture faster? Stay tuned to learn. Hello, everyone. My name is Barka Herman. I'm a woman in tech, and I just switched jobs. Usually, when I switch jobs, my first week is it's a little stressful, not because there's real work or anything like that. It's probably because there's no real work, because the first week is mostly paperwork and meeting new people, kind of finding your place in the company. And this goes just beyond the first week even, right? It takes time for you to kind of entrench yourself, find how you can create value within a company. So imagine my surprise that when I joined StarTree recently, on my first day, my manager had created a task board for me with clear instructions on what he expected me of on day one, day two, day three, week one, the first month, and so on and so forth. How cool! Because not only was I able to feel like, hey, I was doing something on day one, but also that stress of, am I missing something? Am I forgetting something? Should I have done this? All that was gone. Every day I had the clear instructions on what I was doing, the links, everything in one place, not in 50 emails like happens. And also I was able to click the task complete, and it made me feel good. That's that dopamine hit that you get. So it was really a good experience. And what this video is really about is one of the tasks that I had on day two, which is to create a working with me manual or a user manual for me. How cool is that? I mean, I loved the idea. So years ago, I had listened to a podcast of Tim Ferriss talking to Jim Collins, where I got this idea of creating a bug book. So imagine yourself as a scientist dressed in a lab coat, and you're experimenting. What are you experimenting on? Yourself. So I love this idea of me observing myself and doing experiments on myself and writing things down in this bug book and observing and learning from my observations to how to operate myself more effectively. So I started doing this. I've been doing this for the last several years now, where I know what is the best time for me in the day. I'm not a morning person. I tend to do a lot of, bursts of work in the afternoon and then bursts of work later in the evening. I know that I operate myself better when I don't eat a breakfast. A lot of people, breakfast is the most important thing. It's not for me. I know what types of food are good for me. I know how much water I should be drinking. I know how many meetings is like too much. I know when I need to do focus work versus social work. All these things are things that I kind of experimented on myself and learned about myself by using the bug book paradigm. And now I get to share that with everyone else using my own user manual, which is very cool. So imagine that you have a manual, like you have a manual for your team, your manager, and you can kind of within 3 minutes get, which is how long it would take to read one of these, 3 to 5 minutes, you can understand, David would prefer to have a chat over a lengthy email. I have friends who write these long emails to me, and I respond with a yes or no. And I know that can be frustrating to some people, But for me, if I'm in the middle of something and I don't have the time to respond, I'll either not respond, or if I respond, it's a short response. And some people on the other end would be like, what did I say? Why is she not responding? Why this? Why that? And so, how cool would it be if you listed your communication style in your user manual and people just understood, oh, okay, I'm not going to respond right away unless I have something to say. I need time to think about it and respond, right? So, small things like this. I believe that about 80% of interpersonal or issues at work can be resolved by better communication, more effective communication, or by just avoiding misunderstandings and just clarifying things. And how cool is it to have this user doc that you created for yourself, user manual that you created for yourself, that you could just share with people, so people understand where you're coming from, people understand what your boundaries are, people understand, what is a good time, what is a good way. Things to add in a user manual would be things like best way of communication. How do you receive feedback? How do you give feedback? Some people don't like to be criticized. Some people like, for lack of a better word, a shit sandwich. You compliment, then you say something slightly challenging, and then compliment again. Personally, I don't like it. Just get to the point, right? You don't need to tell me I'm doing something good. I'm okay with you telling me I'm doing something good, but you don't have to say that, preface it with any feedback that you have. You want me to fix something, just say it. So how cool would it be if you had an instruction manual, user manual for every person like that? Things like, what is a quirk about me? If you have any, physical or mental things that make you act in a certain way at work, I have friends who have ADHD. Simple thing. It's not like a big thing, but if you know that about them, that clarifies so much stuff. And okay, this person has ADHD, so this is the kind of behavior I expect from them, or whatever. Just be aware of it. So these are the kind of things that you can go put into a user manual. I did end up writing my own user manual. And I'm inspired to actually change my About Me page on my website to a user manual, because I think that that's so much more effective than, I did this, and then I did this, and I did this. That's more of a LinkedIn profile kind of thing. I think that a user manual of, hey, do you want to win brownie points with me? How do you do that? Do you not want to piss me off? How do you do that? What are my triggers? Some of those things. As much as you want to share, of course, in a work situation or with the world. I love the idea. I know there are people who don't. I've read a couple of articles with criticisms, but everyone that I've spoken to about this idea has been super positive about it. I'm planning on doing a workshop with my group, with my community, on creating your user manual. And I would love to hear from you. What do you think? I think it's a great idea. I'd love to hear your feedback. And please like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. Comment on it. I'm a new content creator. I'm trying to grow my channel. I would love, 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 love your feedback. And thank you so much for being here and listening to me.